Hey guys, and welcome to a Game Explained preview for LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens. Andre got the chance to play it early, so Andre, what'd you get to see?
So yeah, I got to see a bunch of Jakku. We watched the developers play through the whole segment first, and I got played through myself. And of course, it's still a LEGO game, and you still go around building stuff while engaging in simplistic combat. But they do build upon that in some smart ways. So the main three new things that they're adding to this game are one, the multi-builds, which when you find a stack of Legos, you can now actually choose what you build. So you can aim with a control stick and build a few different contraptions, and they'll come into play. And you may have to build different contraptions for certain segments of the game. Then they added a whole new flight engine apparently, where now it feels like simplistic, almost like a very simplistic Star Fox. So in the Jakku segment, for instance, you're flying the Millennium Falcon, and it starts off with a corridor segment where you're just flying, in a straight line or along a set path, dodging TIE fighters as well as other debris. And then it opens up into an all-range mode type thing where you can fly around in a pretty free-form environment and shooting down I think 20 TIE fighters before you move on to the next segment, which again is on rails. And then they're also adding these blaster battles where you can hide behind walls and actually take cover and shoot the enemies. As core though, still a LEGO game, this time based on Force Awakens, and they do a great job capturing the look and feel of the movie. It looks really good, and it looks like Star Wars. And of course they're combining that with the typical LEGO humor. For instance in the marketplace scene where you see Finn's run to the marketplace, and he's just boiling over he's just really hot. So you see him pouring water over his head at one point. And then in another cutscene we saw from later in the game, you see Kyle Ren doing the whole Darth Vader sequence where he's talking to the helmet. But when the camera pans out, you see him in his bedroom, which is just kind of funny. There's little posters on the wall, and it looks almost like a teenager's bedroom. It's hilarious.
Oh, my God, that's perfect.
Yeah, so they really do a great job, like they typically have, of capturing the feel of the movie while combining with LEGO, with the LEGO humor. And I should mention too, they actually got Daisy Ridley in to do new lines for her character.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Obviously, they did the previous movies for the LEGO games and how they spread those out, basically a couple sections for each movie, but there's only one movie to work with here. So did they say at all how they're expanding this in any way?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting what they're doing here. So they said there are 18 levels in total, 11 of which are based on the film. Based on specific moments from the film, more specifically. But then there are 7 additional levels that show what lead up to the events of the film, leading up to Jakku. And that is pretty cool. Now, we didn't actually see any of that. But it's pretty neat that they're actually showing more of the story and giving you a better idea of the events leading up to the actual movie itself.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. So, did they say whether or not we should consider these events canon?
I guess as much as any LEGO base game is canon, I suppose. So,
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of curious about the flight battles that you were talking about, how they're more like Star Fox, because I have played a few LEGO games in my time, not all of them, but one of the ones I remember is LEGO Batman, and you could fly around in the Batwing in that, but it was almost like you were driving around the car because you couldn't change angles or anything like that. Right. So when you're in all range mode, can you still change the angles and go up and down, or are you sort of on this flat plane and just going in circles?
Yeah, so that's something they stressed here. They've had some flying segments before, but they really feel like flying this time. Okay. Yeah, you're no longer locked to a single plane. Like I mentioned, it really is like Star Fox. It's a really simplistic take on Star Fox. You can actually, in the quarter sequences, you can fly all over the screen. In the all-range mode, you can fly up, down, wherever you want. But of course, it again is pretty simplistic. You only have a standard laser, I think.
Yeah, it still seems to be an expansion from what they did before with Batman as my example.
Exactly, right.
So that's cool. So what characters did you actually get to play as?
Yeah, so being on Jakku, I played as Rey as well as BB-8. So it's kind of cool how how they actually take these little sections of the movie and make them stretch them out to give a better whole. So that little 5-second sequence in the movie where she's sliding down the hill. That's a whole action sequence here. So you're sliding down the hill, from the Star Destroyer, and that's where you meet up with BB-8 at the bottom, and you have to save him from that, that walking creature thing. And what's kind of cool too is after you do that, you actually have to take control of that walking creature in order to smash through some of the walls nearby, which you can then continue on, exploring more of the environment. So yeah, once you get BB-8, you're able to switch between him and Rey. Each of them has different abilities, of course. BB-8 is cool for rolling around. You can actually attack by just like charging up and rolling into enemies at high speed. Whereas Rey is better for, she's more agile. So she's able to run along the walls. She's better at combat in general and also like assembling things. I don't know if BB-8 can actually assemble things out of Legos. I don't think it can. So once you have some of the things you'll assemble out of Legos with Rey, BB-8 can take advantage of and use his abilities to control those mechanisms, for instance.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, this is the first time, because in old Lego games we always just sort of had that one thing it turned into, and you had no idea what they were going to make.
Right.
So having a little preview, like, are they really emphasizing that? Like, every single time you went to a pile like that, you had the options, or is it more like a specific time and place that you get those options?
The few times I was assembling stuff, it did seem to be that there often were options there. So yeah, it seems like something that'll come into play pretty often, I'm guessing. And
did you get to see any of like the hub worlds or anything like that, like how they structure? Because I remember in the Lego Star Wars for the classic trilogy, the hub world was like the cantina.
No, I didn't get a chance to try them out myself, but they did mention there will be 5 hubs in total, including Jakku, Starkiller Base, and the Millennium Falcon. And also Dakar, or however you say that.
Oh, the place where they went to meet that crazy lady with the big goggles.
Yeah, exactly.
I forget her name.
Mom? Ma'am?
Ma'am? Something like that. I saw it twice and I still can't remember her name.
Right, Ma,
that's it.
There we go. Man, finally, jeez.
Yeah.
Clearly we're Star Wars experts here.
Totally the Star Wars experts. Well, what other details did they give you? I mean, I assume you've played one Lego game. They've mostly played them all, but did it feel different? Was it pretty much the same as always?
It felt pretty similar to past ones I played. They're just building on it in some smart ways. Getting back to the whole flight thing, they mentioned that there are going to be 4D playable vehicles here, like the Millennium Falcon or Ren Shuttle. So it seems like they are taking, the flying more seriously this time in general. Which is something that's important for a Star Wars game.
Have they said how many characters they're going to put in? Are they going to put characters from all across Star Wars, or mainly focus on the characters within
So they mentioned 7? Yeah, they mentioned there are 200 characters you can collect and customize based on Episode 7 and more. So they didn't give an exact breakdown, but it seems like they're going to have all the main ones from Episode 7, plus various others from the other Star Wars, other elements of the Star Wars universe, it seems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which would make sense. I mean, run around Starkiller Base as young Han Solo. All that's fun stuff. But that sounds really cool. Trying to think of other bullet points for a Lego game, but did they mention anything else? Did you play the Wii U version, or which version did you play?
No, so I played the PS4 version, but it is coming to, I think, all the major platforms on June 28th. So yeah, they didn't specifically mention anything different about the Wii U version. So
okay, probably just off-screen play if I had to guess.
I'd guess that as well.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I'm assuming obviously you're playing on the PS4 version, so it probably looked great as well.
It looked awesome. Yeah, it looked really good. Like some of those cutscenes, especially, like it was almost hard to believe they're a Lego game. Actually,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, any final thoughts? Anything you haven't mentioned yet about Lego Star Wars: Force Awakens?
I mean, I think that pretty much covers what I saw. I only saw like about half an hour's worth of the game. If you like Lego games, I'm pretty sure you'll like this one. It seems, right in line with those, except building upon that foundation.
That's twice you've used that pun and not realized it.
Oh yeah, I know. I actually realized that before going into this. I'm like, I have to make a building pun somewhere, and I totally failed at that. So,
but yeah, no, that sounds great that they're expanding it that much. And I gotta say, as somebody that's been around since the whole Lego series has started, it is kind of nice to see them go back to where they began with Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, that's true. This is where it all began. And back then, they didn't have voice acting, so these are fully voice acted cutscenes now. With most of the lines lifted from the the actual movie, but as I mentioned with Rey's character, she actually does have new lines. So
yeah, which is awesome. It'd be great if they got the other new characters to do that as well. But
be.
They probably would have mentioned it if they had done that.
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that covers it for our preview of Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens. So thank you for watching, and if you like this video, be sure to like us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. And of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for more on Lego Star Wars and other things gaming too. Until next time, guys. Bye.